Hi friends, I hope you are having the most magical start to your New Year's 2024. In today's video, we are going to be doing my New Year's Eve outfits that I did 2 outfits. One is a silver and white outfit that's with pants, and then the other is a pearl and black checkered top with a skirt. So we'll first start off with this black and pearl. And I started with this $1 velvet top that I got from a local Target return shop. And it was really tight on the sleeves, so I wanted to make sure that I cut that part off. So I think we're going to be doing a cropped bandeau kind of top straight across with some straps and then a skirt for the bottom. So first I cut off all of that shoulder and top section so that I can use the middle to make that straight across design for my top. And I definitely should have used my roller blade and my ruler because that line was absolutely not straight, which ended up making my skirt not so straight, but it's okay. So once I got that top cut, I then went ahead and hemmed all of the edges. And then they had a little hem for the collar, and I'm just going to use that because it was perfect for some straps. So I took that all off, and then we're going to cut it in half. And then I didn't need to cut it anymore because it was actually perfect for the straps. So then once I've got those sides all hemmed, we're going to take that strap and add it to both sides for the top. And then once those are added, we're basically done with the top, but I wanted to add some bling. So I got these from Hobby Lobby. They're iron-on trim, and this is the pearl one. So it's got pearls and crystals on it. And I wanted to make this top like a checkered type of top. So I just took these pieces and made them into squares, like equal sizes. And then we're basically just going to do a checkered design. So it'll be the velvet material on one side and then the pearls and crystals on the other. And once you've got all of those cut, I can then iron them onto the fabric. And to make sure that the glue doesn't stick to your iron, you can lay a piece of just cotton fabric down or any type of thin fabric down on top. And then you're just going to iron right on top. Some of them I just ironed straight on just because it wasn't getting hot enough. So I did just use the iron straight on. And then for the pieces that kind of curved and stuff, I just cut the iron-on trim to the size that I needed. Once you've got the checkered design done, I then moved on to the skirt. And the skirt was not going to be long enough to add an elastic waistband to it. So I took this extra velvet that I had on hand. It's not quite the same, but I think it'll work perfect. And I just made about 5-inch sections. I made 2 of those and then sewed the edges together on one side. Then we're going to cut the excess. And then once we've got that sewn on the one side, we're going to flip it inside out. And so then it's on the correct side. And then I'm basically just going to fold the open edge that we left open, fold a piece of it in about 1/4 of an inch, and then you're going to insert the other side into that section. And then we're basically just going to sew down so that it looks a lot cleaner. And then once we've got that all sewn in, your waistband is ready. And since this was a stretch fabric, I didn't need to actually sew in elastic, which was very nice. And then we're just going to add it to the skirt. So right here, we're going to match up the seams from the waistband and the skirt on both sides. The waist part is a lot smaller because I wanted to make it my size, and the skirt is going to have a little bit more flow to it. So once we're matched those up, then we can match up the centers from both the waistband and the skirt, because then we can stretch it when we sew to make it the correct size so that they all match together, but that the skirt piece has a little bit of flow to it. So then when we are sewing, we're going to pull the fabric for both sides so that it really bunches when you actually sew it together. And then I just use a zigzag stitch on this so that it also stretches. If you use a straight, it won't have that same stretch. And then we'll go ahead and turn it inside out, and you've got your skirt. And then I also wanted this one to match the top, but they did not have any more pearls at Hobby Lobby, and ordering it wouldn't get here in time. So I just used this bling one, and I think it turned out really well. And for this, I'm just kind of going to do different design, different lengths to create a kind of different design on the skirt. And then I used a form to iron on so that I could stretch it just a little bit. You're not going to want to stretch it all the way. The skirt will be overstretched and won't be able to shrink back to your body once you've got it around like your hips. It won't shrink back to your waist size. So we're going to iron those on with a little bit of stretch. And then as you can see right here, we are going to want to leave a little bit of gap in between some of them, just so that the skirt itself can form back, it can stretch and then form back into the smaller size. Okay, and on to outfit number 2, the silver and white. Okay, so for this one, I started off by just using a pair of pants that I loved already. They have a little bit of flare to them. They're perfect size. So I used them to outline the fabric that I'm going to be using for this outfit. And then we're going to do one side using the outside of the pant and then one using the inside of the pant. And of course, I folded over my fabric so that I only had to cut each one once versus twice, but it will give you 4 pieces of fabric. Once you've got all 4 fabric pieces, then you can layer the ones matching on top. So the one leg, the left leg, and then the right leg. And then we're going to sew just the outside. And when we sew the inside together, we will be connecting them a little bit differently because they will be going with the top and the bottom instead of the left and right. So once we've got all of the left and the right sewed up, we're going to insert the legs together, just doing the right sides of the fabric together. So for this one, it's the shinier side. And then once we've got them all together, then this is where you can sew along that edging or that inside seam, basically the crotch seam, if you will. And then once we've got that all sewn, then we can pull this back wrong side. And then this, we're going to make an elastic for this one so that it can stretch to our waist. Now for these pants, you could just do the 2.5 inch hem, leaving a little gap to insert the elastic into. But what I'm going to be doing is basically taking the very tippy top and just hemming the edge to the elastic. Now you'll see why we do this in a little bit, but basically I'm just going to sew just the tiniest bit, probably about 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 of an inch around the elastic. But first we're going to sew the elastic together. And I just do this with a zigzag stitch. Once we've got our elastic sewn together, then I just matched up those seams again, but you don't really have to. And then fold over that about a 1/2 inch section, and we're going to sew that all along the elastic, pulling tight in all around. And this is where I just used some pins so that I made sure that the elastic was going to be pulled tight in the correct parts. So then once we are sewing, we're going to make sure that we're pulling tight so that the pants and the elastic match together. Okay, now once we've got that top added, now this is the weird part, but we're going to fold over and just sew along the seams that we had originally. So there's 4 seams. Once we've got that folded over and it looks nice, we're going to sew just a straight line around those seams so that when we are wearing this, it looks very seamless. Okay, and this is what the pants look like before we make them all blinged out. And now we're going to use that same iron-on trim that we got from Hobby Lobby, just in a couple different designs, and it does come with instructions for you. And for these pants, I wanted to do kind of like a diamond look with the rhinestones themselves. So I just cut them into 4 sections that are about the same length and then made those into diamonds. And then we're just going to iron these just like we did for the black top. Now my pants were really sensitive to the iron, so I really should have done the overlay of the cotton or any other type of fabric, because I did ruin the pants in a little section here. And so I did just have to put more on that section just so that you couldn't see that I accidentally melted the pants. But then I learned and I used the fabric over top. I really do think these pants are probably one of my favorite things that I've ever made, because not only are they comfortable, but they are so cute and so sparkly. But onto the top. So I have made this diamond type design for a top, or other people probably use it as like a bandana type design. So I have a top that I've used before with this style, so I just used that to cut out the design that I needed. And then I'm just going to take the top section and sew that, and then I'm also going to sew all of the edges and hem them in. And then while I was cutting the excess fabric, I accidentally snagged the fabric. So up at the neck, I just made this diamond design, and then we're going to sew up the edges so that it looks cohesive and nice. And then I took the edges to the fabric for the back side, and we hemmed those, just fold them in. And then I also took a bra extender and sewed that to the very back. back strap so that it will be in the back. I then just used the fasteners on the other strap so that we can connect to the bra extender. Then I took just a 2-inch section of the same fabric that I used for the pants, and I inserted that into the top neck section. And then I'm also going to wrap them down to the back side and add them to the straps, or the back straps, so that they become the straps for the neck and shoulders. Then I just used some of that same trim that I used for the pants to outline the accidental diamond shape for the top. Just makes it a little bit more cohesive, and I thought it gave the neck hole like a little bit more of a finish, especially just because this fabric did not look great when I tried to sew the edges like how I did. Once I got that looking the way I wanted to, I then just cut the excess fabric from all of the edges. And there you have it. That is both of the outfit 1 and outfit 2 that I made for New Year's Eve this year. I hope you guys had a wonderful year. Let's make 2024 the best year yet. Well, anyways, if you go ahead and like this video or subscribe, I would absolutely appreciate it. Bye, friends!